Happiness, joy, fulfillment. When last did you truly feel these emotions? Imagine a world where happiness is neatly packaged, a pill to swallow, a video to binge, a logo to wear. We scroll through life, swiping past ads that promise joy in a soda can, purpose in a pair of sneakers, or salvation in a prescription. This isn't science fiction. It's the reality of a trillion-dollar industry built on selling us the very emotions we're told define a good life. Let's pull back the curtain on this modern alchemy where dopamine, serotonin, and hope itself are commodified. From YouTube gurus peddling productivity hacks to pharmaceutical giants framing pills as panaceas. This exploration dives into how industries profit by hijacking our brain's wiring, and why the pursuit of fulfillment often leaves us emptier than before. What you're about to witness isn't just a critique of capitalism, it's a survival guide for navigating a world that sells happiness, but rarely delivers it. If you have frequently been on YouTube, you will notice the increase in the number of productivity channels here, especially the stickman type channels. Some of them have very distinct titles that I find funny at times. One that promises something outrageous. Something like, give me 10 minutes and I will give you back 10 years. Or this one, you are meant to see this when you are ready. Then proceeds to give you the most generic self-help advice known to man. In fact, there is no actual advice given. It's just 10 minutes of, you can do this, with quotes from historical figures. They are tricky with their words, so it might sound convincing, but no important information is given in these videos. And if you have watched enough of them, you will notice two things: the repetitive content and contradictory content. I know this sounds condescending, because it seems like I will complain if they say the same things or say different things, but all this has context. For example, if you watch 10 videos, at least 8 will say the same things, while the remaining will contradict in a very funny way. Some of these creators even disagree with themselves in their own videos. One will say sleep for at least 8 hours if you want to be super productive, while the other will say 4 a.m. is the most productive time in a day, and if you want to get anything done you should wake up an hour earlier. These beliefs might have mildly understandable context, but still the contradictions is appalling. But that's not all. I saw one really decent video last month. Another contradictory belief, but done well. Don't set goals, create systems. Done by a very well-known creator. As I watched it, I thought there is absolutely nothing like this, until I saw something very similar. People in the comments of this new video keep saying he copied the well-known creator. But he didn't, because when I went to the YouTube search bar and typed in, don't set goals, set systems, there were a lot. I mean, a lot. So this means he didn't copy the well-known creator, right?
They don't take very long, but they will massively boost your odds of actually achieving the goals.
Ali Abdaal, one of the biggest success stories on YouTube. He went from working as a doctor, a job that made his life miserable, to living the dream off YouTube and his online business. This career change was a pivotal moment in his life that made him more fulfilled. But at least, it seems he found a different way to help people. He has been documenting everything he does and tries to give advice from his perspective. But some of this advice can have a little issue. Nothing he says are new or life-changing as he makes it out to be. Now tell me how a video on how to sleep productively or how to watch a movie productively helps anyone. Especially when his hack is basically just watching at 3.5x speed. We don't watch movies to be productive, but now everything has to be done in a productive manner. Every new year, there is a make this year the best one of your life video or make $10,000 per month video. He started up a YouTube academy where he teaches people how to blow up on YouTube. And now, this academy makes more money than his actual YouTube account. Tyfrom99 did a video on this, where he found this out.
After my 5th hour of mindlessly listening to Ali drone on about Notion at 3.5 times speed, I realized that the key to success isn't success. It isn't becoming a YouTuber or affiliate marketing. No, the key to success is becoming a creator of courses. You see, Ali made $4.6 million in 2022. Do you want to guess how much of that was made purely off the courses he produces? Did you guess half? $2,716,395, or 59% of all of his income.
At least he doesn't put himself in the position of having all the answers. His humble demeanor helps him grow a very large following that loves his authenticity. Many other channels don't have that same kind of truth to them. They sometimes copy him to make the same things for those who are meant to be productive to just use that as another way of procrastination. Preying on your urge to find fulfillment and peace. Watching videos after video and diving head first into the self-help waters. Reading books on productivity makes you feel like a better person. It becomes addicting, that feeling of accomplishment after finishing one book. Videos like these become more enticing than ever, but you haven't actually achieved anything. You are just gathering so much information that will become useless and forgotten. You keep visualizing while watching, reading, liking, and commenting. This is why the wellness industry is valued up to $1.5 trillion. Also why the productivity niche is one of the most profitable niches on YouTube. Not only will you earn from the partnership program, but your audience will be willing to buy anything you sell or recommend. They've built so much trust and respect in you because all you do is help them achieve happiness and fulfillment. And the real reason this works so well is because of how our brains process this type of information. Imagine your brain as a bustling city with tiny chemical messengers zipping through its streets, delivering notes that shape how you feel. When you experience happiness or a sense of fulfillment, it's like fireworks lighting up the sky, sparks of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins dancing in harmony. These chemicals aren't just fleeting joys. They're architects of your cravings, your drive to achieve, and even your occasional obsession with chasing happiness itself. But here's the twist. The same system that lifts you up can also leave you trapped in a loop, endlessly scrolling through self-help books or podcasts, searching for a magic fix that never quite arrives. Here's why. Dopamine is the brain's superstar motivator. Think of it as the craving chemical. Every time you set a goal, whether it's finishing a project, hitting a gym milestone, or even buying a new self-help book, dopamine surges, whispering, "You're onto something good here." This isn't just about pleasure, it's about anticipation. Studies show dopamine spikes when we expect a reward, not just when we get it. It's why crossing tasks off a to-do list feels so satisfying, or why the mere act of downloading a productivity app can give you a temporary high. But like a coffee habit, the brain builds tolerance. Over time, you might need bigger goals, more books, or grander plans to feel that same rush. This is how productivity can morph into an addiction, leaving people chasing achievements like a hamster on a wheel, never quite feeling done. Serotonin, on the other hand, is the quiet stabilizer. It's less about craving and more about contentment, the warm glow after a good meal, a heartfelt conversation, or a walk in nature. While dopamine shouts, "Go get it," serotonin murmurs, "This is enough." But in a culture obsessed with hustle and optimization, many of us neglect serotonin's subtle nudges. We prioritize chasing dopamine hits, more goals, more hustle, more self-improvement hacks, over the slower, deeper satisfaction of simply being. Researchers have found that people who fixate on external rewards, like praise or status, often feel emptier than those who nurture intrinsic joys, like connection or curiosity. Then there's the darker side of this chemical dance. The brain has a tricky habit called hedonic adaptation. No matter how much joy or success we achieve, we eventually return to our emotional baseline. It's why a promotion or a new relationship might thrill us for weeks, only to later feel mundane. This adaptation kept our ancestors striving for more food or safer shelter. But today, it can trap us in a cycle of endless craving. Self-help content thrives on this loophole. Each book or podcast promising the secret to happiness triggers dopamine's anticipation phase. This could be the one, but once the initial high fades, we're left chasing the next fix. Psychologists call this false hope syndrome, a cycle of temporary optimism followed by disappointment, which only fuels more consumption. And here's the irony. Consuming self-help content can become a substitute for actual change. Reading about productivity hacks or mindfulness tricks activates the brain's reward pathways, giving us a sense of progress without the effort of implementation. It's like snacking on mental junk food. It feels good in the moment, but leaves us hungry for real nourishment. Over time, this can erode self-trust. People start to believe they need just one more book to finally unlock their potential, rather than sitting with the discomfort of taking small, imperfect steps forward. None of this means happiness or self-improvement is bad. The problem arises when we treat them like items on a checklist, demanding instant results. The brain's reward system evolved for survival, not for the modern world's endless streams of content and comparison. Dopamine isn't evil. It's what gets us out of bed in the morning. But when we let it hijack our sense of worth, we risk burnout, anxiety, or what researchers call toxic positivity, where suppressing negative emotions in pursuit of constant happiness backfires spectacularly. So what's the way out? It starts with recognizing that happiness isn't a finish line, but a rhythm, a mix of striving and resting, consuming and creating. Dopamine loves novelty, so pair your goals with curiosity rather than pressure. Let serotonin guide you towards simple, grounding pleasures. And when you feel the urge to dive into another self-help rabbit hole, ask yourself, am I seeking growth or just another hit of hope? That's why many other industries tap into this type of illusion to increase their sale and grow their brand. Imagine walking through a crowded city, and everywhere you turn, you see billboards, screens, and ads that don't just sell you a product. They sell you a mirror of your deepest desires. A cold soda isn't just a drink, it's a burst of joy shared with friends on a summer day. A pair of sneakers isn't just rubber and fabric, it's the grit to conquer your limits, the anthem of becoming more. Brands like Coca-Cola, Nike, Apple, and others have mastered this alchemy. They don't sell objects. They sell emotions, identities, and even the promise of transformation. And they do it by hijacking the same brain chemistry that makes us crave happiness, belonging, and purpose. Take Coca-Cola. For over a century, their ads have rarely focused on the taste of a caramel-colored fizzy drink. Instead, they sell happiness in a bottle. Think of those holiday commercials. Families laughing, friends clinking glasses, strangers bonding over a shared Coke. These scenes trigger oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and dopamine, the anticipation chemical. The message isn't by this soda. It's by this feeling of connection, nostalgia, and universal warmth. Your brain doesn't crave the liquid, it craves the emotional high it associates with it. Studies show that when brands link products to positive social experiences, the brain's reward centers light up as if those experiences were happening to you. Coca-Cola isn't just a beverage, it's a shortcut to the emotional state you're chasing. Nike takes a different but equally potent angle. Their ads don't talk about shoe technology first. They show athletes drenched in sweat, ordinary people pushing through pain, and the tagline, just do it. This isn't about footwear, it's about identity. Nike taps into dopamine's love of achievement and the brain's craving for self-worth. When you see someone cross a finish line or lift a weight, your mirror neurons fire, making you feel as if you're accomplishing the feat. The brand sells the thrill of victory, the pride of perseverance. Research in neuromarketing reveals that messages tied to personal empowerment activate the prefrontal cortex, linking the product to your sense of potential. Nike doesn't sell sneakers. It sells the idea that buying them is the first step toward becoming the hero of your own story. But here's the catch. These emotional hooks create a cycle as addictive as scrolling through self-help content. Just as dopamine pushes you to chase the next goal, brands design campaigns to keep you craving the next purchase. Coca-Cola's holiday ads return every year, reigniting nostalgia. Nike drops limited edition shoes tied to athlete stories, making you fear missing out on a piece of their legacy. Apple turns product launches into must-watch events, making you crave the latest device before you even know why. Tesla sells more than cars. It sells the future, making your current ride feel outdated overnight. McDonald's is a fast food chain, sure, but it's also a bite of childhood, always within reach. Rolex isn't just a watch, it's a quiet statement of success. And Lego? It proves that creativity has no age limit, bringing out the kid in all of us. Many other brands does this. This hedonic treadmill keeps you running, convinced that the next purchase will finally deliver the feeling you're after. Psychologists call this symbolic consumption. We buy things not for their function, but for the emotions and values they represent. And like any treadmill, it's easy to get stuck. The dark side? When brands sell feelings, they're also selling emptiness. That adrenaline rush from unboxing a new gadget fades. The happiness from a soda can't replace real human connection. Because our brains are wired to seek shortcuts to joy, belonging, and meaning. Brands are simply the modern-day storytellers exploiting that wiring. Coca-Cola bottles nostalgia. Nike sells invincibility. Apple packages creativity. They're not lying. They're amplifying truths we already want to believe. The key is to see the magic and the trick. Enjoy the rush of a great ad, but ask, am I buying a product or a promise? But now another industry has mastered this act of selling promises, and the consequences they bring are way worse, even deadly.
Treatment is for her to get on antidepressants.
Can I take this drug?
A lot of doctors have forgotten about the side effects
Are you sure it's not dangerous?
and the possible dangers of these medications.
You sure I can stop when I want?
Not once in 13 years.
This hurt me. This damaged me.
Doing everything that you tell me to do, and I'm not getting better.
I will not regain my career as a naval officer.
Like I was just scared.
I was actually harming my patient.
They cause people to commit suicide.
None of them were ever meant for long-term use.
So remember when Prozac came to market?
Switched her to Prozac.
The drug itself was on the cover of magazines.
I've been seeing this little girl.
The worsening of depression.
It didn't have to be so complicated, you know?
Imagine walking into a doctor's office feeling like a shadow of yourself, weighed down by a fog you can't name. The physician nods, scribbles a prescription, and says, "This will help you feel like you again." The pill bottle you leave with isn't just medicine. It's marketed as a key to unlock joy, stability, a better you. Pharmaceutical companies have perfected the art of selling antidepressants not merely as treatments for illness, but as gateways to happiness itself. But behind this promise lies a thorny truth: an industry profiting from despair, often prioritizing profits over people, and leaving countless lives tangled in a web of dependency, unmet expectations, and even scandal. Antidepressants, particularly SSRIs like Prozac or Zoloft, target serotonin, the brain's mood stabilizer. Low serotonin is linked to depression, so the logic seems simple: boost it and happiness follows. But Big Pharma's marketing campaigns go far beyond biology. Ads depict people transforming from tearful isolation to sunlit social gatherings. The message? Happiness isn't something you cultivate, it's something you consume. 2008 study in PLOS Medicine found that direct-to-consumer antidepressant ads, common in the US, disproportionately emphasize emotional narratives over risks, making pills seem like silver bullets rather than complex tools. But here's where the story darkens. Pharmaceutical companies have long been accused of over-medicalizing normal human emotions. Grief, stress, or existential angst get rebranded as chemical imbalances needing correction. A leaked 2001 GlaxoSmithKline document, for instance, revealed plans to market Paxil not just for depression but for social anxiety disorder. A term critics argue pathologizes shyness. Sales soared. By framing everyday struggles as medical issues, Pharma turns millions into lifelong customers. And while antidepressants do help many, studies like the 2008 STAR-D trial show they fail to achieve remission for roughly 30 to 50% of users, leaving people cycling through pills in a trial-and-error purgatory. Then come the scandals. GSK paid $3 billion in 2012, the largest healthcare fraud settlement in US history, for illegally promoting Paxil to children and downplaying its risks. Most damning? Internal emails showed executives joking about burying unfavorable studies.
We are determined to stop practices that jeopardize patients' health, harm taxpayers, and violate the public trust.
These aren't isolated cases. A 2004 FDA review found SSRIs double suicidal thinking in young people, leading to black box warnings. Yet Pharma's campaigns, targeting adults and teens alike, rarely highlight these dangers up front. The fallout is a cycle of dependency. Antidepressants aren't addictive like opioids, but withdrawal can be brutal: dizziness, brain zaps, rebound depression, pushing patients to stay on them indefinitely. Meanwhile, Pharma funds research that skews positive.
It has been shown that half of the deaths that occur in psychiatric drug trials, they're never published. They disappear. The difference between an honest data analysis and one you have manipulated can be worth billions on the world market. So what do you think they'll do?
Patients, trusting their doctors, often don't realize how much of the science they hear is shaped by profit motives. But the deepest harm may be cultural. By framing happiness as a chemical equation, Pharma reduces mental health to a pill, sidelining therapy, community, or systemic fixes like reducing poverty or loneliness. A 2020 Lancet study found social determinants, not brain chemistry, drive up to 85% of mental health disparities. Yet they keep pushing the myth that inner peace comes in a bottle. The result? People blame themselves when pills fail, rather than questioning a system that monetizes their pain. None of this means antidepressants are inherently bad. For many, they're lifelines, but when an industry sells them as the answer to human suffering, it mirrors the self-help trap, offering hope while obscuring the fine print. True healing is rarely a straight line. It's messy, slow, and demands more than a prescription pad. So where does this leave us? Recognize that Pharma's happiness pills are both tools and products. Use them wisely, but don't let glossy dreams cloud the reality. Mental health isn't a commodity. It's a journey, one that no corporation can bottle. Remember, this isn't a call to abandon self-help or swear off antidepressants. Tools have their place, But when industries reduce human flourishing to a transaction, we lose sight of the deeper truths. Healing is not a product. Growth is not a hack. Happiness is not a brand. Perhaps the real rebellion lies in slowing down, in questioning the ads that equate sneakers with self-worth, the gurus who monetize our insecurities, and the pills marketed as cure-all. It's in recognizing that systemic issues like loneliness or inequality can't be solved by individual consumption. And it's in daring to define fulfillment on our own terms, even when the world profits from our confusion. Step outside. Breathe. Remember, you are not a problem to be solved, a project to be optimized, or a customer to be mined. You're human. And somewhere beneath the noise of ads, algorithms, and advice, that's enough. Here's the thing. Wanting to feel good isn't the problem. The problem is an entire economy built on convincing you that you can't feel good without buying something first. Whether it's a $200 journaling course or a pill that promises to fix your brain, the game's rigged to keep you chasing. And speaking of rigged games, ever noticed how financial freedom gurus use the exact same playbook? You know the drill. Quit your job, monetize your passion, buy my course. It's just another dopamine trap dressed in a Lamborghini thumbnail. Click on this video, and I will see you there.